So here's my second attempt at my first deep discussions video. I had some trouble uploading last time. For some reason the audio cut out after like the first 30 seconds of the video. So hopefully it's not going to do the same time this time around. And this is like my third attempt at this. So we'll see how it goes. My computer's been having a ton of troubles lately. I've gotten the blue screen of death like 3 times. One of these days I'm going to buy a webcam for my Mac so I can use iMovie, which is a much easier program to use, higher quality and everything, and I don't know, I just prefer Macs, but anyway. So I'd like to start this new series of deep discussion videos. I don't think they'd be weekly, but just every once in a while. Maybe you'd see 2 in a row here and there, but for the most part I'll just do them occasionally, and normally be on a more serious topic than violent video games, but I just thought this would be a nice way to start it out. So, violent video games. To name a few, the few prominent ones, I would say it's probably Grand Theft Auto, Gears 2 or 1, Dead Space, Killzone 2. Most of them are shooters. But to me, I mean, the level of violence in a video game almost doesn't mean too much, because like in Warhawk, for example, it's barely bloody at all, but you're still pretending to be killing someone. And then in Dead Space, it's really, really bloody, but you're just killing aliens. I guess it makes it a little bit better, but still a living thing in my opinion. Killing is killing. Grand Theft Auto isn't too bad as far as gore goes, but then again, you're killing innocent people half the time. So, like I said, killing is killing. I don't think it really matters how graphic it is. It's just the concept itself that makes some violent video games so bad. So, occasionally you'll get some incident and people will instantly blame violent video games if that person was a video game fanatic. And I think that, to a degree, video games can affect the way you think, I guess. Well, it depends on the type of person you are. Some people shouldn't have much of a problem playing violent video games. It shouldn't distort their views of the world. But other people, I don't know, they sort of get sucked in by the violence, I guess. And it almost seems normal to them. And it's not good when something like that seems normal. You shouldn't get used to something like that. But somehow that can happen. One thing that's a problem with video games, not so much the violence, but just any competitive game at all, which is most games nowadays. Most games are online, which is cool because you're playing against real people instead of computers. But in video games, whenever you lose, it's never your fault. It's always, you know, someone's using cheap tactics, there's lag, anything like that. And in real life, you know, when someone goes from video games to real life, in real life you have no excuse. Unless, of course, you're playing a sport and there's a bad call. But, you know, otherwise you're playing ping pong and there's no such thing as a bad call in ping pong, and then you get frustrated because, you know, that your loss is only a result of your lack of skill. You know, in video games, it's never your fault. I mean, I don't know, it's just the way a lot of people think. And, I think everyone finds themselves doing that at one point or another. You know, you get killed and you're like, oh, that was lag, I had that guy. But video games are, it's sort of a way of escaping from reality, and you go into this dimension where you're used to being the best. It's a very elitist society almost, and you know, everyone's like always bashing each other, calling each other, you know, oh, you noob and all that stuff. But then you get to real life and you still expect to be the best of the best, and if you play video games all the time, whatever it is you're trying to do, whether it be a sport or just something social, you're probably not the best at it. Although, not that being social is a competition, but people who play video games usually aren't very social. So, well, I mean, to a degree, if you play video games excessively, then, I don't know, at that point, then obviously it's digging into your social time, but I'm getting off topic here. I would say that overall violent video games are, well, it's partly the parents' fault. In fact, it's mostly the parents' fault. I wouldn't blame the company too much, because people should be mature enough to realize that, you know, their 8-year-old kid shouldn't be playing Gears 2. You know, but I think once you get to be 15, 16, you're at the age where you can you should be able to decide what you can handle. You know, you should know your preferences and all that. But parents should just know what type of kid they have. If they have a violent kid to begin with, don't give them violent video games. It's probably just going to escalate the issue. But otherwise, I don't think they need to be restricted in any way, really. But, you know, the government shouldn't take action because, well, I mean, like I said, it's their decision to play violent video games if they want to, but it's when the parents are giving their kids violent video games, then it just doesn't make much sense, and it's probably going to mess up their life after that point. Because, you know, if you played something, in my opinion, if you played something that was bloody at all before age, say, 12, then it might mess with your head a little bit. I didn't have my first shooter until, well, if you call Star Wars Battlefront a shooter, then until I was like 12 or so, or however many years ago that it came out. Subtract that from 16. But the first real shooter I had was probably Half-Life 2, and that was last fall. So for the most part, I've just had like either really cartoony shooting games or just racing games or RPGs. But or no, I guess you can call Warhawk a shooter, but it wasn't like a really. It wasn't bloody. I don't know. I don't think Warhawk counts, but so all in all, I would say video games are, for the most part, they can have a negative influence on you, but it's all has to do with your control of the situation. You know, it's never really the company's fault. But that's just about it. And if you guys could post video responses, that would be great. I never get video responses. When I do, it's very rare. But, you know, comments are good too, I guess. But sometimes I just like to actually hear someone's voice. But so I'll try to do this again frequently. Not sure if I'm gonna have a video this week. I might if I come up with something to do. But I've been really busy the last few weeks, and I just sort of want to relax. I don't know if I could spare half hour or something. I'll probably put a video up. But one video I've actually been meaning to upload for a long time is my original unicycling video. First day of me unicycling and failing miserably. But I'd like to start doing unicycling tutorials now it's finally nice out. And, well, maybe if I get around to that, that's what I'll do this week, but we'll see. So, that's about it. Thanks for watching.